First Alert forecast from 15 News.
It is 6:46. Some breaks in the clouds. We did have a few showers roll through early this morning. Just cloudy in Madison now. 70 degrees, no wind. Dew points elevated, still at 68, so you can feel some humidity. Temperatures range from the upper 60s to the lower 70s in most spots, and it's fairly warm still over the nation's midsection south of this front. And the front is generating a little bit of rain early today. We'll get a break and then potentially some redevelopment of isolated showers during the late afternoon and evening. High pressure dominating though, and we'll have some morning sun tomorrow, then increasing clouds before skies clear out again late Friday and set us up for a sunny and warm Saturday. Looks like we'll have high temperatures well into the 80s on Saturday, and the humidity level will begin to come up through Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and it's going to be pretty muggy and pretty hot around here during the early part of next week. 82 the high, mostly cloudy. We do have that chance of a shower or thunderstorm redeveloping later today. Westerly wind at 5 miles per hour. After the 82, 83 for the high temperature tomorrow. Morning sun, some clouds fill back in during the afternoon. A little warmer Saturday, sunny skies, 87, 90 on Sunday and well into the 90s Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. We've highlighted those days in red. There will possibly be some alerts put out for heat, possibly a heat advisory. We'll see how it goes when we get closer to this, but I would suspect heat index temperatures will be mid to upper 90s early next week. You can see the low temperatures coming up as well, lows in the 70s Monday night and Tuesday night.